Ciao everyone, this is Nate on the Stone. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about newly elected Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and why we actually have to take her seriously. But before we dig into all that, as a reminder that if you like videos about the culture, politics, and religion from a different point of view, then don't forget to give the video a like and to subscribe to the channel. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was one of the historic moments during the midterm elections earlier this month here in the United States, because at 29 she is the youngest person ever elected to Congress, and she's quickly become a heroine among the people on the left, especially to millennials and people younger than she is. She seemed to prove that a person could win an election by running on genuinely socialist ideas. She's standing up to the old guard in her own party, like Nancy Pelosi. She's campaigning on things like a Green New Deal, free college, and free Medicaid for all, a veritable utopia. And she's also helped by the Cinderella-like quality of her story. Over the summer, Time ran a piece on her where they charted her rise from working as a bartender to unseating Joe Crowley, who was actually seen in the Democratic Party as a possible Pelosi replacement. I love alliteration. She is such a big deal that the shoes that she wore during the primaries, where she went from door to door, knocking, getting her name on the ballot through people's signatures, are going to be displayed in the Cornell Costume Collection's new exhibit on female empowerment. Which seems kind of premature to me, but what do I know about historic moments? Predictably, the different sides of the political sphere have decided to focus on different things when it comes to Miss Cortez. While the left has focused on her idealism, her youth, and her historicalness, the right has concentrated a lot on her flubs, gaffes, verbal missteps. Call them whatever you want. They haven't been very good. And we're not just talking about defending bad ideas. I would argue that defending socialist and socialist-like ideas are inherently bad, but that's another topic for another video in another time. We're talking about actual cringeworthy statements that she's made. For example, back in July, she argued that the only reason why the unemployment numbers were so low was because people were forced to work 2 or 3 jobs. She's made the old but wrong-headed argument that anything that the government does, even somewhat competently, is an argument and proof that democratic socialism works, when she was interviewed by Andrew Cuomo, and Cuomo asked her how she planned to pay for her proposed Medicaid for All plan. She went on a bizarre tangent about how much money is wasted on funeral plans on people who have died because we don't have a Medicaid for All program. And just recently, she said this.
Is that should we, and if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all 3 chambers of Congress, all 3 chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020, we can't start working in 2020.
In response to all this, a lot of people on the right replied with what just seems to be a logical observation. She's an idiot. From headlines to tweets, this has become a semi-common theme, and understandably so. I mean, Alexandria Cortez graduated with degrees, plural, from Boston College. She should know better than this. That was my thought too. And then I read this from Dr. Bradley Birzer, who's a professor of history at Hillsdale College. And Dr. Birzer said this: I strongly urge all my conservative and libertarian friends to take Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez seriously. She is charismatic, passionate, and from what I can tell, deeply honest. Her speaking flubs come not from ignorance, but from enthusiasm. Challenge her arguments, not her misspeakings. She is their version of Justin Amish, a worthy opponent. Now, I don't know if Ms. Cortez's gaffes are completely free of ignorance, though they might be free from willing ignorance. I mean, she did graduate with degrees from Boston College, and with the state of the American education system as it is, I could easily see that some of the things she says were picked up from her environment or even from some of her professors. But Dr. Birzer is also not completely wrong either. Now, I'm not saying that people on the right can't make fun of Alexandria Cortez when she makes a gaffe like the ones that she has. Humor is a very powerful weapon. If you can get people to laugh with you, if you can get them to laugh with you at someone or something else, then that's a really big step in getting people to like you, getting them to lower their defenses, and therefore getting them more willing and more open-minded to accept your point of view on some issue. That's the reason why the left has spent so much time and so much energy in remaking the entertainment industry into its own image. And it's why the movement to bring humor back to the right by people like Andrew Klavan, Steven Crowder, Owen Benjamin, and Razorfist the Rageaholic is so important. So yes, when Alexandria Cortez says that there are 3 chambers in the government, or that unemployment is only low because people are actually working jobs, then yes, please make fun of those ideas. But calling her stupid, or a moron, or an idiot doesn't cut the mustard. And for 3 reasons. First, it doesn't get anyone onto your side because, honestly, it's not that funny. Humor requires some thought, it requires some planning, the ability to make associations and connections with things that we wouldn't usually put together. But pointing to someone's gaffes and then just responding, "She's stupid," doesn't qualify. It's one of the oldest and most common and honestly lamest insults, comebacks, or jokes that people have in their lexicon. This sort of tactic really only preaches to the choir, and yeah, if it does change some people's minds, chances are they were already thinking through things and getting ready to change their minds in the first place. Now, I fully admit, I am not a comedian, I am not a humorist, I don't even consider myself to be really that much of a funny guy. But a legitimate joke based on some of the things that Ms. Cortez has said might look something like this.
Is that should we, and if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all 3 chambers of Congress, all 3 chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020.
So this is what a $282,000 education gets you these days? Given the evidence, I think every student should sue their universities and get a full refund. Or
unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
I think she's right. To get the unemployment down to 0, everyone should be working 4 jobs. We should go one better than that. To get the unemployment rate into the negative numbers, everyone should be working 6 jobs. Why, we'll have jobs galore. Little Johnny or Jenny, right when they're born, will be able to slip right into a job. Instead of pacifiers, hospitals will hand out time cards. Second, and related to number 1, the "she's stupid" mantra doesn't bring new people to your side, and it actually keeps people away. In response to this new theme, Alexandria Cortez has played the wounded woman card, saying that the only reason why the right is focusing on her gaffes and her bull in a china shop way of doing things is because they want to keep attention away from them and unpleasant facts about themselves. She says one of them being the fact that they want everyone to die because they want to deny people health care. By doing this, she has painted herself to look like the adult. I'm not saying that she is the adult in the room. I'm saying that she has painted herself with the appearance of being the adult in the room. And the appearance here is what matters, not actually what is. She has painted herself to look like the young, eager, idealistic, passionate, newly elected congresswoman who is going to go in and fight for millennials, fight for the planet, fight for the little guy. And meanwhile, all her opponents can do is call her stupid because she misspoke. You decide which one looks better. Third, and maybe most importantly, repeatedly saying that she's an idiot is going to make people on the right believe their own stories. And that is a dangerous thing to do, because that means that they're going to start underestimating her. And the one thing that you do is you never, ever, ever, ever underestimate your opponent. We saw this in 2016. Everyone said that Trump was an idiot, a buffoon, a clown. He didn't have a prayer or a chance. And he used that to his advantage, and he cut through the campaign like a bullet train. Agree with her or not, gaffes and all, Alexandria Cortez is young, is passionate, is idealistic, and does genuinely seem to believe in her ideology. The worst thing that people could do is to not take her seriously because they dismiss her as an idiot. But what say you? Is weaponized humor more of a rapier that requires some planning, some execution, and some finesse? Or is it a 2x4 that you can just hit whoever you want on the head with? And if it is a rapier, what are some jokes that are genuinely funny and that you could use against a politician's gaffes? I don't care what side of the political aisle they fall on. As always, I'm interested to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. Well, that's about all for right now, gang. As always, if you enjoyed the video, whether you agree with me or not, then don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications, because I post new videos like this every Tuesday, and you won't want to miss them. Thank you as always again for watching, and I will see you all again here next week on Top of the Stone. Ciao.